If you feel like your wholesale operation can be ran more efficiently, it probably can be. Here are the use cases and setup that we do in our 7-figure operation that you can copy today. Let's do it. Here are automations that we are using in our wholesale business, and you guys can take these as inspiration for the different use cases that we are leveraging when it comes to these automations. And so the big takeaways are here are examples of all of the different automations that we're doing in our wholesale business, and also the setup that we have created where we'll make it a lot easier for you guys to be able to manage these automations in the first place when you implement them, or if you do for the ones that you guys would prefer. So to dive into it, how this whole table is set up is we have the automation of what is going on, and then we also have the impact score. So the idea of why we implemented that is we don't want to do all this work for an automation if it's a very low leveraged automation. So some automations take a lot of work to do and a lot of time to maintain, and we don't want to spend all of our time maintaining a automation that is a very low impact. So we started scoring that so we know if it's going to take a long time, we can be more efficient there. Also, we can, through this table, and we're using Notion for this, we can see when it's initiated, so what causes the automation in the first place, the source, if what platform we're using, so Zapier, NAN, and Claude are like the main ones. So what source it's coming from, what causes the break. So rather than trying to figure out, hey, what's broken, sometimes it happens, but now when our team member that is creating these automations in the first place, she can see and identify, hey, this is the most likely thing that would cause the break. And so when it does break, that's the first thing that we do, rather than spending all this time trying to figure out what it is. So breakpoint is the main thing. And yes, there can be other breakpoints, but this is like the 80-20, like the main thing that could cause the break. Next is destination. So where is it going from one place to the other? That's mainly what these automations are, is just connecting different platforms to each other. And so seeing that is helpful. Any notes involved, what department is involved. So this is specifically for wholesale and real estate, the title of it, how many triggers this happens. And this is important because automations, you get charged by the amount of times that automation occurs, and that's called a trigger. And so if you see an automation that's doing 1,000 triggers or just a crazy amount, and it's taking and spending a lot of money on it, maybe you have to reiterate that automation. We can see when we created it, if you have a video on it. So a big thing that I like to see is, like, I don't need to know the whole backend, but as a manager and an owner, I want to see, like, what is it actually doing. So I have our automation specialist create a video on what actually that entails. And then this is not relevant if you wrote out the steps, and then everything else, and then if there's different parties involved, like different team members involved. And then also it's good to see the time interval between. So for example, we have some automations that one platform is connected to another, but it doesn't just always do it every minute. Sometimes it does the update every 12 hours. That's when like that automation occurs. So knowing that ahead of time is helpful to see. Because if it were to be every minute, then that would be a lot of triggers, which makes that automation be very expensive. So that is our current automation setup on tracking these automations. So now diving into the use cases, here are some that I think you guys may find very useful. And an idea is, to preface this, I'm asking myself the question, can this be more efficient? Does a human have to be doing this, or is there a way that I can connect it? And through all these different AI platforms, I've seen that there's a lot of ways to connect things where we don't need an admin assistant. In a perfect world, having a automation and technology do it, it prevents mistakes. And when a person is doing it, they are more prone to mistakes. So the perfect picture that you'd like to create is a human managing the automations versus doing all of the work. So we're not replacing our admin assistant, she's just managing these automations. And now she's actually called the automation specialist. So here are some use cases. Case one is anytime you guys are doing a Zoom video, that recording could automatically go into your guys' communication platform. And the reason why we do this is because I want to review meetings that are happening by our managers. And so when those Zooms occur, and I guess for all of these, I'll say the old way and then now the new way. The old way was Zoom recording, the Zoom meeting's done. That recording, our manager would have to manually grab and upload and send to me. And now we've automated that where it's right when the recording's finished from Zoom, it automatically gets pushed into Slack, which is our communication channel. So that's one. Another one is all of our hiring applicants. They go into a spreadsheet because we automatically get their email and phone number. And the reason why that is we want to do that is because say we have another opening in the future, we have all of those emails and phone numbers of people that were interested in that position in the past, and now we can just reach out through a text blast or email blast and see if they're still interested. We wanted to capture all of those people, and so we've automated that for anybody that's interested in any position that we are currently hiring for. Another use case is grabbing outside sources and putting it into our CRM. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of information, because we list a lot of these properties from Zillow that we'd like to see on our end. And so, for example, here is some stuff that we can grab. So this is all automated in pink. So the activity from the actual listing itself, we can see how many views it has, we can see all the saves, and this is like a one-stop shop. Yes, you could just go to Zillow and see it for that property, but we're just like, what if we can grab all that information from Zillow to show the activity and put it all in one spot? And so we did that using CRM, using Notion, because that's our disposition CRM. We can see all of that, and so you can do this with any CRM, but that's just another inspiration that you can grab Zillow, or you can grab, say you're using InvestorLift or any other platform where you're gauging activity. You can grab that activity and see it in your CRM or whatever platform you're using. And furthermore, look at it, you can see when these properties are live, which is really awesome. Also, you can see the Zillow link as well. So another automation that we've created is that when our due diligence date is coming up, a team member that is responsible for either canceling the deal or getting an extension, they get an email notification. So that is one that has been very helpful for us. So there's a lot of things that we want to see from our CRM. However, we've realized that those updates take a lot of time. And so rather than waiting for that CRM to be updated, and if we are limited and not be able to do it in that CRM or whatever platform you're using, we created the automation on the back end and made it so we're not have to wait for the software engineers because it's out of our control. So that's what created a lot of these automations as well. And if you guys have any questions on any of these automations that are here, let us know, because these are all currently being implemented in our business. And lastly, one of the most game-changing automations that we created is capturing buyers for inbound interest. And so what I mean by that is anytime somebody calls or texts to our platform, Dialpad is where we are receiving those calls or communication from these buyer agents that are interested in our deals or investors. Those buyers automatically get added to our CRM. And so the reason why you want to do this is, say they're interested in a property that you're selling at 123 Main Street in Tampa, Florida. The concept is, if they're interested in that property and it's a fixer-upper, if you can automatically grab them and put them into your CRM and capture them, next time you have a property that's a fixer-upper in Tampa, Florida, if you tag them properly, you can then reach out to all those people. And so, for example, what that looks like, and this will all be blurred out as this is currently what we are doing. So for example, this person reached out to us and automatically got added to our CRM, and all of these tags got applied. So you could see that they're interested in this property, and you can see that as an automation. You could see the zip code that they're interested in. And so now in the future, if we have a property that is in this area, we can then just reach out to her and see if she's interested in this property. So game-changing way to capture buyers. You should be capturing all of your buyers, and there's an automation that you can create for that. Furthermore, on this automation, all of these inquiries for buyers that are interested, they go into a database in Notion for us. And this is super cool because we can see when they reached out, we could see their activity of where they're currently at. Are they interested in the property? Are they going to walk it? Whatever the case is, what disposition agent's involved. And then we can see the property that they're interested in. And the biggest takeaway of this is we have a calendar view. And so what that looks like. So a lot of this will be blurred out because these are deals that we're actually actively selling. But you can see all of, in a calendar view, you can see all of the interested parties all in one spot. So why this is so powerful is because all of the buyers that we captured, we can now see in a calendar view of when they're seeing the property. And the biggest takeaway of this is our disposition agent, she can or he can reach back out to all the people that are interested. So there's no buyers slipping through the cracks. So from a very high level, how it works is any interested buyers that are calling in, so this is regarding inbound interest, they get captured. If they're going to schedule a showing, we see them on the calendar, and then our disposition agent can look back on the calendar and reach back out to all these people. So for example, all these people on the 28th and 26th, all these people will get reached back out to, given where they're at in the lifeline of being interested in the property and ultimately making an offer. And also, if they're not interested, if we have another property similar to the one that we were selling, we have a whole database of people that we can reach out to again. If you got any value out of this, please subscribe and drop a comment. This channel is where I show real estate operators how to scale businesses through systems, AI, and organization using wholesale real estate as the proving ground. Click all the links below for all the resources I have to offer. Thank you.